Let's continue, children, with complex sentences. A complex sentence may start with a main clause plus a subordinating conjunction plus a subordinate clause, or it can also start with the subordinating conjunction followed by the subordinate clause and the main clause. A complex sentence consists of a main clause or independent clause with one or more subordinate clauses or dependent clauses. Look at the example. Although he was wealthy, he was still unhappy. Now, although he was wealthy is the subordinate clause with the subordinating conjunction followed by the main clause, he was still unhappy. This is a complex sentence. A main clause or independent clause can stand alone as a sentence and make a complete thought. Look at the example. As it was raining heavily, I could not go to school. Now, in this sentence, as it was raining heavily is the subordinate clause. I could not go to school is the main clause. So, I could not go to school, the main clause can stand alone by itself. It will have a complete thought and it will be complete in meaning. Whereas a subordinate clause or dependent clause cannot stand alone even though it has a subject and a verb. Now, look at this example. As it was raining heavily, I could not go to school. Here, the subordinate clause, as it was raining heavily, mm, does not have any complete meaning, though it has a subject and a verb. It has to depend upon the main clause for its complete meaning. The main clause or the independent clause and the subordinate clause or the dependent clause are joined by subordinating conjunctions. The subordinating conjunctions like although, because, since, when, while, before, after, if, etc. etc. Example, I will try until I succeed. Here, I will try is the main clause, until I succeed is the subordinate clause. It both are connected by the subordinating conjunction until. This means that the clauses are not equal as they use a subordinating conjunction that changes the rank of one clause to make it less equal. Now, look at the example. Though Jerry is very strong, he is not courageous. Though Jerry is very strong is the subordinate clause. He is not courageous is the main clause. Now, because it is a subordinate clause, it has to depend upon the main clause um, for its meaning. Then it becomes lesser in rank to the main clause. A subordinate clause can come after or before a main clause. Example, brush your teeth before you go to bed. This is here the subordinate clause comes after the main clause, brush your teeth. Look at the next sentence. Before you go to bed, brush your teeth. Here, the subordinate clause comes before the main clause. When the sentence begins with the subordinating conjunction, a comma is necessary after the subordinate or dependent clause. When he came to my home, comma, I was asleep. Now, when it begins with the subordinate clause begins with the subordinating conjunctions, then the comma becomes necessary. The comma is not needed if the sentence begins with an independent clause. Like I was asleep when he came to my house. Here, the main clause comes first, the followed by the subordinating conjunction and the subordinate clause, then the comma is not required. Sometimes in complex sentences, the main clause or the independent clause and the subordinate clause are joined by relative pronouns like who, whom, whose, which, where, what, how, when, why, that. Now look at the example. Sam, who stood first in my class, is my brother. So here your subordinate clause is who stood first in my class. Subordinate conjunction is a relative pronoun who. The main clause is Sam is my brother. I have found the book that I had lost. I have found the book is the main clause. That I had lost is the subordinate clause. It is both are connected by the relative pronoun that. I hope you have understood, children. Thank you.